Hey guys, it's Chloe. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today I have a very cool install I want to show you guys that will work for a 2016 to 2023 Tacoma, and it has to do with the truck bed over here. So behind me I've got a 2020 TRD Pro, and when I open the tailgate, boom, we have lots of lighting all the way to the end of the bed over here. Now, of course, this guy does have a backflip tonneau cover on his truck, so let me take this off to show you guys the lights in better detail. What I just installed was the VLEDS Bed Light Kit with these LED lights that mount underneath the rail that, as you can see, go all the way to the end of the bed. This is one of those very clean, very OEM, could have come from the factory looking modifications made to the Tacoma. And yes, there are these factory bed lights that you can option out these 3rd gen Tacomas with. However, you could see that they're mounted pretty much towards the front, or I guess like back side of the bed. So when you're trying to get adequate lighting in the part of your bed that's over here, the VLEDS kit solves that problem. So a couple of other things, this modification adds a few features. So if we look inside the truck over here, this product integrates and ties into the switch that controls the bed lights that comes in these trucks from the factory, which is the one over here, aka, as you can see, the jellyfish launcher switch. So the way this works is if you have this switch in the off position, all the lights in your bed are going to be off. When you've got it in the on position, exact opposite, everything is going to be on all the time. Now, when you have it in the middle over here in just the door position, if I shut this door, tailgate is shut, but when I open it, voila, the lights all turn on via the tailgate. When I close it, off, open, they come on. This little tailgate feature was not the case before, so super fancy, man. I am having way too much fun doing that. So on my own 3rd gen Tacoma, my silver 2019, I have so many VLED products from their interior lights, because the ones that come from the factory are halogen and just like super dim on an all black interior. I've also got the puddle pods, which are the lights that are mounted underneath the mirrors. Give you that cool puddle effect when you open the door, which is really nice at night. And then a fan favorite that I've installed on the channel here before is their footwell lighting kit. That one is very cool, also controlled by the doors. I'm just impressed by everything that VLEDS makes for the Tacoma. So a couple of months ago, I think it was quite a while ago, I saw on Tacoma World, which is this forum for Tacoma owners, that they came out with this bed light kit, and having owned all those other VLED products and really just liking how they integrated so cleanly into my truck, I knew the bed light kit was going to be so good. So when I got one, I had the intention of putting it on my silver truck. However, if you guys know, that truck does have a decked drawer system occupying the bed. So I thought while putting that kit would still be better than what is currently there, which is absolutely no lighting, because I do camp sometimes in the back of that truck. I thought a truck without a drawer system would be better suited for this mod. So I've got my friend's 2020 TRD Pro Tacoma, which was actually, I feel like a lifetime now that I'm saying this, my own truck that I bought from him and then sold back to him. It's like a really long story. I helped him rebuild it. But anyways, when I had this kit and thought it might not be the best for my own silver truck, he has a tonneau cover, as you guys just saw. So that extra 3rd brake light, which normally does help to provide extra lighting to the bed, not a lot, but albeit still something. It's not effective at all if you have a cover. So I thought he could really benefit from this. He was cool with me filming the whole install on this truck, which I really appreciate, because this is definitely one worth showing you guys. I'll have this kit linked in the description box down below, and in this video I will be installing the whole thing, showing you guys it step by step if you're following along, or you just want to see what goes into installing it. And I'll have timestamps in this video in case you guys want to jump around. But I ended up doing a couple other things to his truck because he helped me lift my FJ80 last week. So one of those things included picking him up a VLEDS LPX kit that I just installed as well. Basically, this is like a mini light bar that goes on top of your rear license plate, and it's like a 5-minute install, no cutting of wires. It's as easy as plugging the breakout harness into the factory one, then fastening the bar onto the license plate frame and plugging that into the harness. And what this is going to do is it gives you the features of an extra park, brake, and reverse light. Honestly, I think I need this on my new 2024 Tacoma because there is a chance it could have prevented me from getting rear-ended by a Civic last week, but that's for another video. And I replaced some of the boxes he had back here with new ones that Decked actually sent me that are part of their deco system. These ones are better in my opinion because he can open them from the top. I have them in my drawer system and really like them. It feels so weird like opening other people's stuff, especially on camera. I'll show them this video before I post it, obviously. But oh, it's like not, yeah, there's like air compressor stuff in here. I'll show you guys. Honestly, I think I could get everything to fit in just this box, but I think I'll put these in the smaller. See, these old boxes were really nice, but I can't even close them. Like, I've got to like use all my grip strength, but it's really hard to get a good angle on there. So a lot of times I'll just like, but as you guys just saw, these ones are much more user-friendly in terms of how they close. Handle is a lot beefier, and even with how they open too. Boom. All right, so now let me show you guys the main install for today, the VLEDS Bed Light Kit for the Tacoma. All right, so here we have it, everything that comes in this box of goodies. First, there are, of course, the 4 LED light bars that have these aluminum exteriors and these diffusing lenses. There's also the main wiring harness, which is very long because we'll have to run it from the rear to the front of the Tacoma, and this tailgate pin switch, which was how I could actuate the lights with the tailgate opening and closing. We've also got harnesses for daisy chaining, fish wire, which will really come in handy as you'll see later, another breakout harness for the switch in the cab, and things to protect our wiring as well as make it look clean and like the factory did it. The first step in any of these installs is to disconnect the battery, so I typically just remove the negative battery terminal and put something non-conducting around it. Like here, I'm using this plastic bag that I'm recycling from the VLEDS kit itself. And then I open up this guy's tonneau cover, which, as I mentioned, is a backflip hardtop one. It's definitely one of the nicer ones out there. And yes, I am resting it against his window, but not to worry because it's padded. It's actually designed to flip up this way. Maybe that's why they call it a backflip. Anyways, you do have to remove both taillights, which are 2 10mm bolts, and then you can just pull them straight out. And to make your life even easier, you can also remove the bulbs and stash the housing out of the way during this whole install. Now, the first item from the VLEDS kit that we'll install is the relay on the long harness, so that mounts to a stud in the taillight cavity, and don't forget to add the grounding ring terminal on here too, using the provided 10mm nut. Then that long harness will have 3 wires at the end, the blue, purple, and red one with a ring terminal. Fish those down through this hole along with the rest of this harness, which as you'll see is very long. Now starts the fun, and hopefully you can sense my sarcasm here, but It's really the not so fun part of routing this wire along the frame. Okay, it's actually not that bad, but it just took me a while and the undercarriage of this guy's truck was really dirty. But the principle here is to just follow the OEM wiring and zip tie along that. And there are many hard to reach places, so the provided white stiff fishing wire comes in handy. You might be able to tell from my arms, but I am filthy from just doing this. I'm normally one to clean myself as I go. Like during my Land Cruiser re-gear, I changed clothes a few times because I'm weird like that, and that install was super messy. But I realized I was just going to get dirtier and dirtier, so for this one, I just waited until I was done before quite literally deep cleaning myself. Alright, shenanigans aside, I just take the red wire and feed it into the engine bay like this. The spot around the cab mount is tough to get around, but getting into the engine bay itself after that is really easy. There's plenty of room. And that red wire has a ring terminal at the end that you connect to the positive terminal of the battery. This can be done by just removing the 12mm nut and adding that in. Inside the cab is where we'll deal with the purple and blue wires, since those are going to go to our switch. So remove the floor mat and kick panel, and then I'm pre-feeding those two wires through the grommet that goes into the floor underneath the carpeting, as you'll see in a second, but just puncture a small hole and pull those wires through it. Next up, remove the switch panel, which can be done using a plastic trim removal tool like this. And this is the switch I'm unplugging since I'm adding the breakout harness here. That breakout harness is the short one that has the purple and blue wires, and you can kind of guess where we're going here. Basically, take the purple and blue wires we just pulled through and mash them to the connector that plugs into that shorter harness. Now tee that shorter breakout harness into the switch and reassemble all the panels, since we're done with all the wiring up here in the front. There is one last routing of wires at the bed of the truck, and it's for the longer wire that plugs into the LEDs on the passenger side. So with this, we should have a wire at each side of the bed that will plug directly into our LEDs. And I promise this is officially the last part of working underneath the truck. No more getting dirty from here. Now, the most fun part of these installs is seeing things come to life, and installing the new lights now feels really rewarding because we're getting to the finish line. You can see I removed the OEM bed lights, and I'm running my wire from the taillight cavity through here to get to the bed rails, and I just drilled out a little more space for that wire to come through. Now, I want to mention, VLEDs recommends that the wire just exits through the top of the plastic, so you can prevent drilling. This might be a more optimal route here over what I'm doing. Now, I'm daisy chaining the lights together and sticking them down with the provided 3M tape, and I try my best here to center the lights too. Then this is the secret to get this install looking clean and like it came from the factory: adding the wire hider, which also uses 3M adhesive to stick to the bottom of the rails. There's plenty of it provided here in the VLEDS kit, and you just cut it to size. And we're in the home stretch. Glad you guys are still with me, but this one is the coolest step because it's what adds that extra tailgate open close feature to these lights. So I replaced the OEM stopper with this one that has a pin switch and simply plugged in the spade connector in the harness inside the taillight cavity into it, which completes our wiring. This would be a good time to reconnect your battery and test functionality like I'm doing here. So again, you do have to be in door mode for this function to work, and all the other doors are closed of course, but when you activate the switch, you should hear that relay click if everything was working properly. And when you've confirmed that, we're essentially done. All we have to do is reassemble, which in my case is just putting the taillights back on. And then you just check that everything works one last time, which is very easy to do because this one is really fun to play with. That pin switch is super cool, and I can think of a bunch of other things you can actuate by opening the tailgate and using one of these. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this install, and let me know what you think of it in the comment section down below. Again, all products will be linked in the description as well. Thanks guys for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!